What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Spawn Guides, the series where I cover all of the most common spawn locations as well as their behavior on every map in Advanced Warfare for Team Deathmatch and Domination. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the map Horizon. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's jump right into the primary spawns for Team Deathmatch on Horizon. As you can see, there's a ton of spawns and they're spread out all around the edge of the map, just like we expect to see with most maps for Team Deathmatch. One thing that's important to notice with this is it doesn't behave in a linear fashion. It's basically, these spawns are spread out all the way around the entire edge of the map. So this map behaves more of like a spherical sort of map. So there isn't really usually, this is my side of the map, this is your side of the map. It's constantly flowing around all edges of the map. Now here are the secondary spawns. So these are the spawns you'll get when all of the primary spawns are blocked or just in some very specific situations, but these are ones that you don't really have to worry about most of the time. Now let's bring up the zones. Now these are fairly general zones, but this is how I broke it up. So one thing that's really important to note is the yellow zone right on the bottom. There's 3 spawns within that zone, and 2 of those spawns are inside that building where you have to go through those doors that automatically open. This zone is very small because you can be literally just outside that building and they can continue spawning in those yellow zone spawns. So really be aware of that. Even if you're right up close to that zone there, they can still spawn there and they still might spawn there. As for the other zones, they're very, very basic. Basically, if you have teammates that are within that zone, enemies are not likely to spawn anywhere within that zone unless there's no other safe spawns available. And also, just like you guys know, if you have a line of sight on a spawn point, then it's highly unlikely that an enemy will ever spawn there. So that's pretty much it for Team Deathmatch. There's really not much to say. These behave exactly how you would expect them to behave as you're looking at them right now, and it's quite straightforward. So let's move on to the Domination spawns right now, and let's bring up the spawns here. And as you can see for the A flag, we have those same yellow zone spawns that I was just talking about for Team Deathmatch, and they still behave in that exact manner. You can be pushed up right outside that building, right around the corner, and they can still spawn in there. So really be aware of those spawns. Aside from that, there is that one spawn way over in the bottom left-hand corner for the A flag. And then there's another spawn that's over kind of towards the B flag side of the map on the right-hand side. That one is quite rare, and usually you only get that spawn if you hold A and B. But you can also get that spawn if you only hold A and they're putting a lot of pressure on your other spawns. But it is quite rare. Another spawn to point out is this one right here. Now I have it listed as a secondary spawn, but at the same time it's a relatively common spawn. I just didn't want to quite call it a primary spawn because it doesn't really feel like it's a primary spawn. But if your teammates are pushing towards the C flag on that left-hand side of the map, it's quite common that you'll end up getting this spawn point. But if you're attacking the A flag, which is more what we're concerned about, if you're attacking the A flag, it's highly unlikely they're ever going to spawn in that situation there. It's usually only if they are pushed up on that side of the map. One last thing to point out with the A spawns is that purple spawn on the left-hand side, which we're going to be talking about a lot more later on. This one is also a relatively common A spawn if your teammates are pushing towards that C side of the map. Moving on to the C flag, this one's kind of scattered. The C flag, it's not like a really nice uniform spawn location where they're just spread out along the back of the map. They're scattered a little bit, and it can be a little bit difficult to predict once you get into the enemy spawn, if they're spawning at the C flag and they only hold the C flag, just because they can start spawning behind you or in just different areas. So just remember the spawn locations here. This spawn right here, this one is actually under inside the building. It's not on the top of that building. That's that building that overlooks towards the C flag. It's actually underneath. It's inside that building, just so you're aware. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. As for the B flag, there's only 2 real primary spawns, what I would consider to be primary spawns. But the most common, or one of the most common B spawns, is actually that purple spawn. And this is where I said I was going to talk about it a little bit more. That purple spawn on the left-hand side of the map, that one is actually extremely common if you only hold the B flag. So if you do notice that your enemies only hold the B flag, be ready for them to spawn where that purple spawn is. It's very, very common, very, very easy to be shot in the back if you don't know about this spawn location for the B flag. So just be on your toes when you see that they capture the B flag because they could very easily spawn there. Aside from that though, it's pretty straightforward. As long as there's no direct line of sight onto one of those other bee spawns, it's also quite likely you can spawn there. But one thing to keep in mind with those bee spawns, the blue ones, those ones are all out kind of in the open and they're very easy to get a line of sight on. So this is the reason that purple spawn is so common for the bee flag, because it's very uncommon that you don't have a line of sight on the other bee spawns. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Just be aware of those C spawns being kind of scattered out a little bit. They're not just at the back of the map and lined up right along the back side of the map, kind of like with the A flag. They're not like that. They're scattered a little bit more. And also, don't forget about that purple spawn for the B spawn. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the maps you'd like me to cover next. And keep in mind, for the base maps, the only maps that I have not covered yet are Green Band and Recovery. And Recovery is going to be a difficult one, but I will do it for you guys. As for DLC maps, also please let me know if you'd like me to go into DLC maps for this, or if it's just simply too late. Personally, I'm starting to think it's just too late in the year to start doing DLC maps for spawn guides. But let me know if you really want to see it, please let me know. If you honestly don't really care that much, you also feel it's a little too late, also please let me know that, because I'd like to get a good gauge of where you guys are at with that. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.